Hello, welcome back to this edition of the Sancomb Show. My name is Matt Kuiper, the Sports Information Director here with the California Vulcans. With me after a long, busy, hectic night last night is Coach Sancomb. Coach, big win last night for the Vulcans there over Wheeling. But again, we got a couple games to talk about, both home games finally for the Vulcans. So I'm sure the guys, after they got done with all their finals, were glad to be sleeping in their bed and not have to get on a bus or a little van to go anywhere this week for games.
Absolutely. Feels good to be home. Very thankful and fortunate that we were able to get the win last night. It was hard fought. Our guys played for the whole 40, and we needed to play for the whole 40 and made a great comeback.
Well, on Sunday, I ended up coming back for your first home game of the year against Chestnut Hill, a rare game in Hamer Hall. Graduation was on Saturday, over the weekend there, so it was still set up. You've been in this region a long time as a player and as a coach. So Hamer Hall at least has a little bit of meaning to you in terms of knowing how big it was back in the 90s, 2000s, when this program was basically where you've brought it back to these last couple of years.
Yeah, I mean, Cal has we have such a rich tradition with basketball here and winning in the 90s really to 2008. It was one of the top Division II programs in the country, and we practice over in Hammer. And with the graduation, we've been over there for about 10 days, so I felt good. It was a good atmosphere. Guys played well over there, and we've played over there twice, and we've had success both times. So there's a little magic in there still.
Okay. So again, faced the Chestnut Hill program. You had basically a trade of home and home last year. You played them right before break. Team has a first-year head coach, but basically from the jump was one of those things. Bryson Lucas really took control of that game, and was one of the most efficient players there in that game. But just talk a little bit about the game against the Griffins.
Bryson got off to a great start for us, and just did a little bit of everything. He scored it, he assisted it, he defended, he blocked shots. Really, what we expect from Bryson when he's on the floor, he's going to make plays and do a lot of great things for us. Overall, our defense won the game for us. We were locked in. We had a lot of time to prepare for them, which was nice, and our guys really locked in and did what we were supposed to do and made it difficult for them to score. When you hold a team to 20 points in the first half, usually good things are going to happen. So very pleased with that. And then I just thought, offensively, the rest of the guys just played solid. It was a solid game for us. We were very efficient offensively. We moved the ball. I loved our assist to field goal ratio, and I thought it was one of the best games we played this year.
Yeah, you jumped to a 45-20 lead there at halftime and ended up winning it 89-50. One of those games you were able to get your starters in there, the next five guys, and even the next five, because you have so much depth and so many guys on the roster. So it was one of those games everybody got a little bit of action in the game in Hamer against Chestnut Hill.
Yeah, it was good. Those guys work hard too, and to be able to get them a lot of minutes. I think we played everybody at least 4 minutes. So that was really good, and those guys work hard, and it was good to see them be able to go out there and perform well for us.
In that game, you guys shot 60% from the floor, 10 of 20 from three-point land. And again, you referenced the assists, 19 assists on 32 made field goals. So everybody was passing the ball there. 6 assists for both Jermaine Hall and Bryson Lucas. Your two bigs leading you in assists, always interesting there, but just tells you the kind of looks you guys were getting that day.
Yeah, those two guys, they touch the ball a lot too. We play so much 5 out, so they get a lot of opportunities to pass the ball, and they did a great job with it. What we like is the assist high and the turnovers low, which we were able to do that. And we just moved it well. We shot 50% from the three because we took great threes. We got open threes, and we shot 60% from the floor because we got a lot of layups as well. So we were very efficient offensively. Like I said, we just both ends of the floor, I think it was our best game so far this year.
Yeah, just looking at the overall stats, Zion had 19 points, 3 rebounds. Bryson had 15 points, 5 rebounds, 6 assists, 1 block, and 3 steals. Literally filling up every stat. KJ, 13 points, 3 boards. And then also Jermaine, 10 points, 6 assists, and a couple boards. So one of those, your big four really stepped up. And even DJ Slaughter stepping into the starting role of that game gave you great minutes there at the point position.
Yeah, DJ's given us some great minutes here in the last 2 games. Really happy for him. He's worked hard. Going to need him to continue to do that.
And then Antoine Arnett and Dalman Alexander both getting over double-digit minutes. Your 6-7 guys off the bench really excelled there against some major minutes for Dalman, especially in that game.
Yeah, Dalman played very well for us. It was good. He had a lot of family in and just was in tune and executed well. And Antoine, he's forced me to play him. He's done such a good job the last 6 games and been really, really efficient offensively. Been very, very good defensively, and he's just earning more and more minutes. He's a big part of what we're doing.
So you had a lot of time to prep for Chestnut Hill with the finals week the week before, but then you had Wheeling last night on Wednesday. So you had a couple of days really to implement there. But overall, a program you knew very well. You've seen them in person before. In one of those contests, they came in and just absolutely put one of a crazy shooting performance the first half. One of those ones you knew as a coach and even a fan, nobody can keep it up the whole time as the game goes on. But they made you fight for all 40 minutes last night.
Yeah, I think they scored 46 points or 45 points in the first 11 minutes of the game. And honestly, we didn't have an answer. They were making shots, some tough shots. We obviously gave them some easy shots, but they made some tough shots, and they just had it going. They executed extremely well, and they exposed us in some areas for sure.
So I know you're going to go back to the drawing board, work on some of those things there, but the fight of the team, they were down 23 points at most in the first half, cut it to 57-42 at halftime. So still is there 15 points, but the message at halftime obviously telling the guys, got to really lock in and fight and just battle on the defensive end, because that's really where you get your bread and butter and get your looks on offense, is what you get your stops on defense.
Yeah, and I think, really after the first, 11 minutes of the game, I think they scored 45 points the rest of the way. So our defense did improve dramatically from that point on. And, I think for us, it was just lack of communication. We did not communicate well. I thought our effort was fine. I watched the film early this morning. Didn't have a problem with our effort, but our communication and execution wasn't good to start that game. And as the game went on, the second half, for the most part, we were very solid with our execution on the defensive end.
Yeah, in the first half, they ended up shooting 58% from the floor, but they went 10 of 15 from three-point land. I know that's one of those things there as a coach. You hate seeing a team make 10 threes in a game, much less 10 and a half.
Yeah.
So that was one of those things there. I knew that had to be something eating at you there come halftime.
Yeah, and I think at one point they were 9 for 11 from the three, and I was ready to pull my hair out. We were just scratching our heads, seeing what we could do, and they were ready to play. Obviously, when you're 13th ranked in the country, teams are going to come at you and give you their best effort. They want to show that they belong, and they're going to throw punches. So you got to be ready to absorb and, most importantly, throw punches back.
Yeah, it's one of those things too. Your game plan changes a little bit in the first 4 minutes. Bryson's forced to the bench with 2 fouls. He played such a pivotal role on Sunday, and then he has to sit almost the entire first half because of 2 fouls. But Antoine played major minutes there, and even Caden Hanna gave you some minutes there. Off the bench for physical, because again, number 25, Marcus Johnson, is just such a big body. You had to get guys on there that could be able to handle his movements and everything else.
Really happy with Caden. He is such a team guy. Hasn't played much the last 2 games. He's starting to come on, but it's been his practice habits over about a 2-week period that we just keep seeing him doing what he does and understanding what he does. And when he goes into the game, he's going to stay within what he does well and give you great effort and get on the glass, make open shots, and he did those things for us and played very good defense as well.
Yeah, and so in the second half there, ended up being with 8:37 left. I double-checked this, 19-point deficit, 77-58, and you guys just find a way to outscore them 52-33 in the second half. KJ McClure just, again, leading the way offensively, career-high 35 points, but even Zion Collins, 25 points, Jermaine Hall, 14 points, and then even Antoine, again, 11.6 rebounds and 19 minutes off the bench because of Bryson's foul trouble.
Yeah, start first with KJ. Can't say enough. The points, obviously, I think most people see, but the 3 charges down the stretch, he just willed us, and his attitude and effort was so contagious from that point on. And obviously, he scored the ball. We all saw that, and he does that very, very well. But those other intangible things, they're just hard to coach. And when you got a guy like that, you love it. He's all in, and just down the stretch willed us to victory. And then Zion, I feel like with KJ and Zion, we have 2 great closers, and they were both so efficient offensively, scoring the basketball and setting up others, but just shooting such a high percentage, both of them taking what the defense gave. Really happy with that. Zion made a couple big baskets down the stretch for us where he just took his time and got to where he wanted to and was able to elevate and score and use his size and strength. So those two guys played outstanding, games for us. Like I said, Antoine, he led us in rebounding, played 19 minutes. I think he had 6 rebounds. He just does a lot of things for us, and he's just continuing to get better. We need Jermaine and Bryson to be better than they were yesterday. We do need those guys to be better. I think down the stretch, defensively, second half, both of them were where we need them to be, but we need them to be like that throughout the game.
Yeah, Jermaine had a nice open shot there. Zion kicked it to him there. It wasn't struggling from the three-point line earlier, but hits that big shot. And Bryson was scoreless until late in the game. Hits a big driving layup there to give you a big lead there at the end. And then Zion, as you said, 2 big pivotal layups in the last 30 seconds there, really taking charge of it. And I had to because, again, Sean Ellie, number 1, and Marcus Johnson combined for basically 58 points. Those two guys, it was a 2-man band. They really put it together and had 2 of the best games of their career they're going to probably ever have, and just happened to be the same night against us.
It was. Those 2 guys played at a very high level on the offensive end, and tip your hat off to them because they were very efficient as well, just not scoring points, but being very efficient at it. That's what great players are able to do.
And I know, too, the stats I saw last night when working on the recap, I'm sure you had to be thrilled with 6 turnovers for the Vulcans there, and you forced, I think it was 15 second-half turnovers. I know the press you had implemented late in the game forced a lot of those turnovers, but still, just being able to force turnovers and limit the turnovers, one of the fewest turnovers I've ever seen in the game for a men's game.
Yeah, 6 turnovers, that was big for us. And then, 15 in the second half, 19 for the game. Our press was good. We practice it. We don't use it a lot, but it was efficient for us. It really was the difference. I think it maybe caught them off guard. They had trouble getting the ball up. They turned it over, and it led to easy baskets for us. So we were able to convert on the turnovers, which is always big.
And I think looking at your press, you have so much length and versatility with your guys. It's one of those things that are hard to match up with opposing teams because you can go small or you can go big, but everybody you put out there is athletic enough to be able to really force chaos for whoever has the ball in those situations.
Yeah, we're blessed with that. We do have great length and anticipation. Our guys understand, where to move, read defenders, read eyes. They do a really good job with that. And it was big for us because, when you're down by that many, you've got to score quickly. And by getting turnovers, that are leading to baskets or foul shots and stop scoring with the, clock stopped are big down the stretch when you're down, 19, 20 points with 6 minutes left.
Yeah, so that was this past week. We got a little bit of a break here. We'll take a break here on the show and we'll come back and look at next week's opponents. I already got 2 games Monday and Tuesday coming back to big PSAC crossover action. We'll be right back after this.
Come on out to the Convocation Center and support men's and women's basketball for the 2023-2024 season. The Vulcans are looking to put the PSAC on notice this year after both teams are picked towards the top of the preseason conference rankings. There will be 13 men's games and 16 women's games at home. Follow calvulcans.com for any update. All games will be live on CUTV Sports 1 and the PSAC network.
Come out. Our team's going to be very exciting. We have a lot of good players. I think we play the game the right way, very up-tempo. I think we're going to be able to score some points. I think our defense is going to be great. Our guys have great energy.
Come to our games. I think once you get here, you'll really like what you see. I think it's exciting. These players put in a ton of time, a ton of effort to put out a good product on the floor. And like I said, I think it's super exciting, and you really want to come back.
The Pennsylvania State Athletic Conference celebrates the athletic and academic excellence of its student athletes. Last year, over 3,800 achieved at least a 3.25 GPA to earn recognition as a PSAC Scholar Athlete. Athletically, 75 PSAC teams qualified for the NCAA Championships. Champions on the field, champions in the classroom, making the PSAC proud.
Hello, welcome back to this edition of the Danny Sancomb Show. My name is Matt Keifer, and with me as always is Coach Sancomb. Now again, you had some non-conference ones there. Now we're shifting back into conference play next week on Monday and Tuesday, back-to-back games. So a little bit of time to prepare for Shippensburg, but then again, it's a real tight turnaround for Lock Haven on Tuesday. But I know you already started looking a bit of the film on Shippensburg, and I know this weekend is going to be a lot of film for you watching both teams there. What's the challenges you're facing these teams back-to-back games? I know you played it early in the year, but the idea of, again, I know you like that aspect, but also you have these 2 games and you have another break because of Christmas and the NCAA mandate for even more time off.
Yeah, for us playing back-to-back, I think for all teams is challenging with game plans and so forth. So, we've worked a little bit ahead as coaches. So, obviously taking today off, and we'll be at it, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and working on, both teams, what they do well, and how we are going to have to stop it, and then offensively what we're going to have to be able to do. Both teams are very good, so we're going to have to be ready to play. The good thing is at least we'll be sleeping on our own beds, so having them at home makes it nice, a little bit more difficult when you're on the road.
Now, starting with Shippensburg, a team that's been one of the top teams in the East for a while now. They actually won the East last year. They had the Player of the Year, the Defensive Player of the Year, and the Coach of the Year. But thankfully, the Player of the Year and Defensive Player of the Year are both gone, and they had 3 All-Conference guys gone. But they have the second leading scorer in the PSAC, number 10, Marcus Frank, at 22 a game. Whippeal guy, so he's going to probably have some fans here, but also a redshirt freshman. So a guy you haven't really seen on film except for this year. And then they also have Ty Crespo, a guy who really shoots it from outside, number 1. What have you seen so far in the Raiders?
Yeah, they play a little bit different this year. Watching them on film, they spread it out a lot and they look to attack, and they do a good job. With that, they've got pretty much 1 through 5 that can handle it. So they space and they drive, and they've got guys that can get in the lane and finish or make good basketball decisions. So, like most teams, to have success, you're going to want to keep the basketball in front against them. But they make it very challenging, and they have multiple guys that can attack the rim and score and make great plays.
It's one of those things that their head coach has known the West for a long time, was a long-time assistant at IUP under Lombardi, so obviously knows the PSAC West and most of the coaches and players. He's very familiar with all the arenas and things like that, so it makes it challenging. Then Lockhaven, 2 teams actually made the PSAC playoffs last year. The Bald Eagles finished 5th in the PSAC East, but they lost their second team all-conference guy. But they have a couple guys this year that are really doing well for them so far.
Yeah, they do. We had a chance. They played down in Bowie when we did, so we were able to watch them play, 2 games. So that helped us with a little bit of the scout there. But their point guard's a good player. He scores the ball. He makes everybody on the floor better. They run a lot of good stuff where they get him the ball in space, and he makes good decisions. So both the teams defend very well. So we're going to have to move the ball and do some things on offense to be able to get the looks that we want.
Yeah, I was looking at the stats there. The guy, Justice Schultz, for the Lockhaven point guard, top 10 of the PSAC in scoring, 2nd in steals, and 5th in assists. So really wanted a player. And they also have a big grad transfer shooting 62% from the floor. So, when he gets the ball down low, he's going to be looking to score and probably getting some good looks.
Yeah, both those guys are efficient. They do a good job getting the ball in areas where their guys can be effective, and they can score it inside, and if you double down, they'll make shots. So we've got to be creative in what we're going to do and try to make it as difficult as possible for them.
So again, it's been a busy stretch of games here, all at home. So it's actually going to be basically 5 games in just over a week after you guys were on the road for about a month to start the year. So a lot of time here back in California for the guys, and they're in their apartments in the Vulcan Village. So they've been able to do that. So it's a huge couple of games coming up here in PSAC Crossover. Coach, thank you for taking a couple minutes here to preview those and also break down 2 big, nice home wins there. As you said earlier, being number 13th in the country, starting to get that buzz across the country there. It's one of those things, you came in 6 years ago to this program, was not where it is now. So it's got to be satisfying for you, and also like Zion and Jermaine. Those guys have been here from day one basically with you to get the program where it is right now at this point.
Big part of it, those 2, man. Love them. They have bought in, and they've put a program that was struggling for quite some time, and they were able to turn it around. And very happy, and the other guys in the program too. They understand what we want to get accomplished. They understand the tradition of this program, and we want to continue to build on that.
Yeah, you got 2 big statements here on PSAC play to be looking at next week on Monday and Tuesday. Feel free to stop by the Convocation Center if you're around California. If not, we got you covered online. If you can't make it, I know a couple people couldn't make it to the game last night. They really wanted to see it there. But again, we're definitely making it interesting these last couple games. But again, we're looking forward to some great action here next week here at the Convocation Center with Lockhaven and Shippensburg Monday and Tuesday. Thanks for watching.